letting down the hatches, love?
You could say that. It's been unseasonable, or unseasonal I should say, and we have got wind, rain, and putting up all the covers. Well, what more can you do? We're inside a marina here, and well, everyone's getting blown around. It's quite scary actually. You know, even though we're in, boats are really moving around, and well, you hope for the best really.
The weather was pretty rubbish for sailing for a good chunk of August, so yeah, it wasn't great.
Well, we didn't really mind it because all it meant was that we were going into a few marinas along the way.
Yeah, have a bit of a sniff around, which we quite enjoy.
Segesta or Segesta looks a bit like the Acropolis, only much better condition. The Trojans were responsible for this one, but the usual suspects of sackers and looters were there, the Romans, the Carthaginians, but the nice thing is that it started off very Grecian. People say it's a much better example of the Parthenon. I wouldn't disagree because it's in such good nick. It's not got all of the smog and all of the pollution that the Parthenon has. It's absolutely wonderful, and it's in a great spot. You can almost hear God agreeing, that thunder.
Who knew Sicily had the best examples of ancient Greek architecture?
Yeah, Segesta was really good, but the true surprise was Agrigento.
Oh yeah. How cool is this? This is the Temple of Concordia here in Agrigento, the Valley of Temples, which is amazing. This is the biggest archaeological site in the world in terms of ancient Greek monuments. There are 7 of these temples spread across 1.4 thousand hectares, I think it is. And this one is definitely the best preserved. And you may well recognize it. UNESCO uses this particular temple for its logo. It's like being back at school. All that stuff you learned and had forgotten comes flooding back to you.
And every town that we went into seemed to have a nutty Greek. So we're driving through a town called Gela in Sicily. And this place is famous for a guy called Aeschylus. Now Aeschylus' claim to fame, and if you look up Wikipedia, unusual ways to die, there is a picture of Aeschylus who died when a tortoise fell on his head. This man is known as the father of tragedy, and you'll understand why when I tell you how it came about that he died with a tortoise falling on his head. So he had this vision that he was going to die with something falling on his head. And he thought, right, I'm inside, I'd better get outdoors. As soon as he went outdoors, an eagle dropped a tortoise on his bald head, thinking that it was a rock. Where, you know, eagles get to the tortoise meat by dropping it on rocks. Thought Aeschylus' head was a rock, and he dropped it on his bones. And that is the story of Gela and Aeschylus, who died in very tragic circumstances.
I'd say that the southeast corner of Sicily was probably the prettiest. Places like Noto, Syracuse, Catania, all famous for their gorgeous architecture.
And more nutty Greeks. Carrying on the theme of nutty Greeks that we've come across. Eureka! I found it! Archimedes discovered how to measure volume when he was in his bath. He got out of his bath and he was so excited about it that he ran down the streets naked in Syracuse, which is where we are now. The best part of Syracuse, in our mind, was the little island of Ortigia, which is joined by a bridge just across a very small canal.
Gorgeous, stunning buildings.
Loads of bars.
Oh, hundreds of cafes. You'd need, I reckon, at least 3 months to eat in every single one of them.
Yeah, yeah. And then by night, beautifully lit up. It was like a fairy tale. The most awe-inspiring place in the whole of Sicily was not man-made, however.
Oh, Etna.
You could see the smoke coming out of the snow-capped top of Etna, almost like a, I don't know, Earth's pimply teenager.
That didn't stop us wanting to climb her though, so off we went. We hired a volcanologist.
Yep, not Spot's brother.
This guy gave us a true appreciation of just why Sicilians love this volcano so much. They're not frightened at all.
Yeah, they call it Big Mama. We wouldn't sleep a wink.
Absolutely not. But the reason is that she's got all these little babies, hundreds of them dotted around her, and they regularly erupt, allowing her to let off some steam and not fully blow her top.
Like any mother. This chap took us to the site of the most recent eruption. I think it was 2002. And that's the one in 2002, is it?
2002 is there.
Yeah.
Just there and there.
Okay.
Okay, so we're trekking up to the top of Mount Etna. Big Mama, essentially, and she's got 209 babies. This is the youngest. This is the most recent crater to have erupted. What do you think, Dan?
Oh, it's extraordinary. It's like being on Mars. It's all black, sea of black lava. This was a very big surprise for us. We expected to see a little bit of lava, but this stuff was, you know, quite extraordinary. How it just was almost frozen in time coming down the mountain.
Narrowly missing, you could see its path and how it narrowly missed forest. So you've got green forests and then nothing.
Yeah.
Just lava pits or lava flow.
Yeah.
So Jonathan is descending there into a natural freezer formed by a lava tunnel. You wouldn't want to walk around this side of Etna by yourself without a guide because there are so many craters.
Yeah.
You could easily fall down one. You
Yeah.
nearly did.
Go inside.
Bad for me.
I am a speleologist.
How deep is it?
40 meters.
40 meters.
Yeah, 40 meters deep, yes.
That's why I was saying don't be too close.
That would be the end of Jonathan.
Yeah, you don't want to fall down into a crater.
Which reminds me of another nutty Greek,
Empedocles.
Empedocles. This fella thought that he was going to be a god. So to prove that he was going to be a god, he jumped into the volcano and the volcano spat out his sandal. No more Empedocles. Nutty Greeks.